Hey guys, this week I'm going to get a little real with you, do a little story time video, and this was prompted by some fan mail that I got from this big stack. Here's one question that's gonna start off our video today. Dear Sarah, what were some mistakes you made in your job search after college that we can learn from? How did you get here? Thanks in advance, Jennifer A. from Chicago. Well, Jennifer, let me tell you, I made some mistakes, and let me show you what some of those mistakes were in my resumes and cover letters. Okay, so I spent the weekend putting together a guide full of resume and cover letter tips that's like 8 pages long, but very readable, very helpful. And normally at this point in the semester, I would give you all copies of old, embarrassing resumes and cover letters and let you just rip them apart, my resumes and cover letters, and tell me what you think is wrong with them. And I'm really sad that we don't get to do that, but I'm going to do that for you. So I hope you enjoy. This video is just, some things that I wish that I had known about making a resume and a cover letter when I graduated, and even a couple of years after. And one of the main things I realized when I was going back through these again, like I do every year, which is a horrible experience, is that I don't think I ever had anybody read my resume and cover letter. And anybody who, knew what they were doing. So if at any point you want to send me anything like that, even after this class is over, that's totally fine. I'm happy to read that stuff. I wish that I had somebody proofread all of my work that I was sending out, all of these resumes and cover letters. It was a lot of work, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't get any help. So ask for help. And I can help you too, or a friend, or someone in your family, or another professor that you're close with. So here we go, screencast time. All right, so I'm going to take you through two jobs that I applied for early on. This first one was for an executive assistant position, which I assume basically was answering phones, maybe responding to some emails for the CEO or whoever I was assisting, and then doing paperwork, organizing. So I said, employer. First, I would probably try to find the name of the person who's hiring. If you can't find that, I would at least say something like, Dear, Shell team, or whatever. I don't know why Shell is the first company I thought of. That's weird. Dear Shell team, or like whatever the company is, put some sort of reference to that there, because this just basically, as it is, looks like a template that I'm pasting and throwing to a lot of jobs, which is true, but you want to not necessarily want it to look like that. You want it to look like you're interested and like you really want this position, which gets exhausting after a while, but just got to do it. So I would be a great fit for the executive assistant position because of the experience I've acquired as Acoustic Guitar Magazine's editorial assistant. So that was the position that I held previously. And here I say a little bit about the responsibilities that I had. This is basically stuff that is in my resume. So that being said, in the opening paragraph, you want to signal language that is in the job ad. So I don't know, these responsibilities and like tasks that I'm listing don't necessarily look like they would be for an executive assistant position until I get to this section, provided administrative support for the editorial team. I probably should have expanded in this paragraph a little bit of what administrative support meant for this previous position I had that would be relevant for this position. And then in this paragraph, I'm highly organized and motivated. I pay strong attention to detail. These are all just kind of like, whether or not they're true, they're kind of like platitudes without a lot of explanation. So how am I highly organized? How am I motivated? What kind of attention to detail, am I paying to what? Taking full ownership of my projects, what does that mean? Does that mean completing them? And so I say completing them with results that exceed expectations, but I don't say what that means. It's just very general. You want to get as specific as you can here in a way that doesn't immediately reflect what your resume document says, because this is a great opportunity to say some things that may not necessarily show up in your resume. And you could say, like, my resume shows, I've, proven to have project management skills by completing this many projects in this amount of time, something like that. Okay. And then I sign off, and then I list my references. Here is this resume that I found. First of all, like as we were talking about in the HTML and CSS discussion, when you're organizing a page, there should be some sort of obvious hierarchy. My name probably should have been bigger. Here's my info, but I don't have a email or a website listed, which I did have. And then here in my experience section, I have this job that I held. It looks like I still have it. I was trying to find a new job. That's fine. But then this is kind of messy. You could probably do something like this. And there, see how that's a lot easier to read. Here I say coordinating content for social media, posting on Facebook and Twitter, keeping track of Google Analytics results. This Google Analytics task could have been a separate line probably, because that requires a lot of quantitative analysis, which is another skill that I don't have listed that I didn't know I had. And then providing administrative support. So I was saying administrative support to signal the text of the job ad, which is good, probably. But then I have organizing and maintaining the editorial library, assisting with research, and this should have been transcribing. Oh, man. All right. So then I have this other job that I had in undergrad, but I didn't list any responsibilities. And some of those were kind of administrative. I was having to keep track of different students, and I was teaching writing. Something of there could have related. My education doesn't have a lot of expansion. It doesn't say what year I graduated. Okay, and then again, my skills are kind of, you can't read them very well. That would need to be cleaned up, but all right, so let's look at this next one. So here's one that's a little bit better. Right away, okay, there's a date. There is this Dear Life Booker team, some kind of marketing company. It says I'm a graduate student, so it must have been a part-time job. And so then I talk about a little bit of what I've been doing. I talk about my writing style. This must have been a writing job. So it probably wanted some sort of like adaptive writing style. So I'm like reflecting that language in here. As a frequent Lifebooker user, so whether or not this was true, and I'm not encouraging you to lie, but you want to signal something in here that says you're not totally unaware of what this company is and what it does. You don't even necessarily have to say, as a frequent user of this website, you could say, I looked at your website, it looks great, it's a team that I'd love to be a part of, something like that. Please see my resume for more information. Okay, so then I go down here, and this resume is so much better. My name is big here. I have my address. You don't necessarily need to put your address, but you definitely want a phone number, an email, and then a website which has my portfolio information and stuff like that. I put my education at the top because I was getting my master's degree and I was proud of that, and I kind of wanted to highlight that I knew what I was doing when it came to writing. My experience here is much easier to read. The titles are bolded. The skills here our responsibilities are a little better than the previous. It says I contributed to these documents for clients. These documents I was being a little shy here. I was working on these like 500-page documents with a team, and I probably should have been a little bit bolder there. So don't be shy about anything that you do, like it's good stuff. You should be proud of it, and brag about it on your resume, and then here, I list these responsibilities, but it's still kind of managed 2 interns. That's good, because it's specific, but I'm still not doing enough of like action words, it's kind of just like responsibilities that I had. You want to say like manage social media strategy to build brand engagement. Like what was that successful? Did I build brand engagement? Were the metrics raised? Anything you can do like that when you're talking about group projects or whatever else would be really good. So here's a better one. Wrote descriptions for over 1,000 hotels. Blah, blah, blah. That was a really crazy job. Okay, and so that's about it. And then here I list some responsibilities. And here we go. I get a little bit more into this writing experience. So I sort of figured out the resume form. And there you have it. My mistakes.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for reading my 8-page document and keeping it with you. There's some great tips in there. Please definitely go ask me for help. Ask the Career Center for help. Just do what you can to get out there and get moving, make some money. And I'll see you next time for a semester wrap-up video, which is very sad, but it'll be good. Have a great week. See ya.